Hi everyone, today I'm going to be starting a new series of videos where I take a look and review games that I've bought completely on a punt. So games that I've bought blindly and don't know anything about prior to playing them. So today I'm going to be looking at Rune, which is a really small box card game for 2 players. This one takes about 10 minutes to play, so it's nice and quick. And it's an abstract strategy game. So I've set up the board here where you'd initially start with just a single card, but from then on you're going to be playing cards which will kind of develop the map like this. And as you can see, each card was divided into 6 sections made up of these different coloured runes. So you've got your dark runes, you've got your green ones, and you've got the red ones here. Now everybody to start the game at least, or both players, are going to have a hand of 3 cards, and they're also going to have 3 Rune Masters, which are kind of signified by these meeples. And on a player's turn, you're going to do two things really. The first of which is to play a card. And when you play a card, you have to abide one of 2 rules, or you can apply to both rules if you want to. The first of which, you're going to have to at least cover 1 rune up beneath the card you're going to play, and it has to match the corresponding symbol. So for example here, I've matched this green one on top of this green one, which is a perfectly legal move. The second rule that you have to abide to, or if you don't want to comply to that rule, that is that when you play a card like this, for example, every adjacent rune has to match, like I've done here. So that again, that would be a legal move. Now, once you've placed your card, you again get one of 2 options to take. The first of which is to replenish your hand by drawing a card. The second rule is to place one of your Rune Masters. Now, when you place your Rune Masters, you are going to claim a certain region, basically for area control and point scoring at the end of the game. So, for example, if I placed on this green area here, then all these connecting green runes are going to score me points. Now, these different runes have different rarities as well. So the dark ones here are much more common, but they're only worth 1 point at the end of the game. The green ones are slightly less common, but score 2 points each. And each connecting red one scores 3 points each, but they're a lot harder to connect. So, for example, in this one here, this particular player will be scoring me 8 points at the end of the game. But of course, as the game develops, people can kind of start overlapping your cards, trying to make you score fewer points while you're trying to extend your points. The only rule being that you can't cover a region where you've already placed a Rune Master. Now, an additional rule, once in the game, you can place one of these tokens on to extend your area, basically. So as you can see here, where I've placed my Rune Master, I can place this in an adjacent space. So if I did that, for example, then I would again be extending my points here. And that can be a really useful tool to use as you go through the game. But interestingly as well is that when you place your Rune Master, you are then going to limit your hand. So instead of, as I said, instead of drawing a card, you are only going to have a 2-card hand from now on. And the game is going to end once somebody has placed their 3rd Rune Master. And then the other player is going to keep playing by placing their Rune Masters, but without drawing cards. So it's a pretty simple game. There's quite a few of these card games that use this overlapping mechanism, but this one works surprisingly well, and you can probably tell it is very abstract in the way it plays, which is not normally my cup of tea, but I quite like the way this one develops. It's nice and smooth, very simple, extremely low rules overhead, and it is what it is really, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So yeah. In terms of its mechanisms, it's very clean. Just play a card and claim a region. But there's some good player interaction here in terms of trying to extend your not only extend your regions, but also try and cut other people's regions off to make them score fewer points. So yeah, it's got some good decisions here, and the puzzly aspect to it as well shines through quite nicely. Of course, you've got the well-balanced different options here. You can really focus on getting these greens and scoring more points, or just get these huge chains of these dark ones, which are much easier to do, but again, are scoring you half the points of the greens. And if you want to go for a red strategy, then good luck, because these are quite hard to line up. But I'm sure if you play accordingly, or especially well, you could profit quite well off those ones. The game, as I said, takes 10 minutes to play, which is perfect. Certainly doesn't outstay its welcome. You've only got a small little deck of cards here, and it's certainly not going to drag on too long. You've only got so many options, and you've only got 3 rune placements as well, or these Rune Master placements. So yeah, it does tick along nicely. It's very fast, and you don't really have to worry too much about downtime because you're only playing with 2 players, even though some of these placements are going to be quite stressful in what you're going to do. Replayability, yes, it's kind of a one-trick pony style game, but the fact that it's 10 minutes, it is it's a kind of a special occasion style game where you're not going to get to the table all the time, but if you have got that little niche where you want to fill 10 minutes, it's really good. I mean, I think for me personally, it's nice because the box is so small that this is the kind of game that I can take on holiday and play with my girlfriend while we're kind of waiting to go out for the evening or something. So yeah, I think this is going to fit quite a nice niche for me, really, which is a nice surprise. Interaction, as I said, is good. You are jostling for position, trying to get the most juicy regions. Aesthetically, I think, it is what it is, really. I mean, the cards are well depicted. You can clearly see all the different types of runes. So certainly not going to be confusing about what these cards do or anything. And I do quite like the way the game looks. It's very simple, but it works. And the components as well are pretty good. The card stock is good quality. And the meeples are nice, nice chunky meeples. So no complaints whatsoever. The only thing I do have is that the box, once you close it, it's nearly impossible to open. So I've had to put a bit of string in the box in order so I can get it, in order to actually open the box in the first place, which is not ideal, but not a difficult problem to fix, I suppose. No theme here. This is purely an abstract game, but that certainly doesn't work against the game. And in order to get this one set up, it's an absolute breeze. You just put the card in the middle, deal 3 cards each, and you're good to play. So it takes less than 20 seconds to get started. Really like this game. I think it's certainly one that has took me by surprise, really. It's not, it's nothing revolutionary, but it's still pleasant and it does what it does really well. I think if you like games such as Circle the Wagons, which was a hit that from a decent button shy games from a year or so ago. That one works really well for me. This one has similar mechanisms, but it does play differently. And instead of kind of working towards objectives, you're trying to increase your region size to get more points. So yeah, a nice surprise for me. This one I do enjoy, and it is actually going to stay in my collection at least for the time being because, as I said, it's going to fit a nice niche to shove in a travel bag and to play when you're out and about on a holiday. So give this one a go if this one appeals to you. If you like your abstracts, you like your 2-player games, and you want something that's portable and it is fun. And and the little puzzly aspect as well shines through nicely. So that is Rune. Go check this one out. A little gem there, and one that certainly I didn't know about before picking up, and maybe you would like this one too. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, please hit like and subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos too. For everyone else, I'll see you next time on Chairman of the Board. Bye.